What's up, guys? I'm here to do a quick little review for you on this new Orijen dog food. We received this dog food from Chewy.com. They were nice enough to send this out and let us give it a try. So right here I have two different foods. This is the Orijen just dry dog food, kind of like a Kibble, and this is the Orijen freeze-dried dog food. We used this food for quite a few nights. I'm just going to jump right into the footage and show you guys how the first few days went. Go ahead and roll that footage. What's up, guys? We are here to start our new regimen of this new Orijen dog food. It's adult dog, biologically appropriate dog food. Some interesting things about this food is it has some pretty amazing ingredients. I'll insert a list of the ingredients here. This is actually made in Canada. It's not made in the US, so that's pretty interesting. You guys know me, how I really like my US product. I definitely approve of this food so far, just based on the ingredients and their claims, but the real test is if the dogs will like it. Wanted to let you guys know we are teaming up with Chewy.com for this review. They are providing this dog food for the dogs for this month. We're going to go ahead and do a review for Chewy every month. So the next couple months we'll have a series here of different dog foods for you. We'll give you guys our opinions and I'll show you what it's like feeding them. We'll definitely do a nice thorough review of the dog foods we try. In future months, hopefully we'll have some wet food and treats to go along with it, but for right now, the Orijen is what we have. So this is the first night we're feeding this food. So I have some of their regular food here. This is Blue Buffalo dry dog food. It's the fish and sweet potato formula. They really, really like it, but because this is the first time feeding this Orijen food, I don't want it to be too much of a shock to their system. So I'm going to gradually introduce it to them. So we're gonna go ahead and give them about half of what they normally have. So I went ahead and moved the food over to one side of each bowl, kind of show you how much I'm putting in there. Vic does get a little bit more food than Roxy does, being that he is a bigger dog. So let's crack this bag open here. See what he looks like. Hope you guys can see in there. It just looks like some regular dry food. As you can see, it's just some small kibble there. Probably call this a medium-sized kibble. Just some nice dry food. Wow, it smells really, really good. I'm gonna pour some of it into this bowl so I can kind of have control over how much I'm feeding. I'm gonna go ahead and use this measuring cup here. The bag does call for Vic to get, I think, 4.5 cups a day and Roxy to get 3 3/4 cups a day. Again, being that this is their first day on the food, I'm only gonna give them about a cup each. There's Vic's cup.
Isn't that 2 cups?
No, this is 1 cup. And there's Roxy's cup. Give Vic a little bit more here. There we go. So that's what they're getting tonight for their first night on Orijen. I'm gonna go ahead and mix it together so that they can't eat one half and not the other. So the bag back here is actually the freeze-dried version of Orijen's food. You add water to it. It becomes kind of a wet food. So you can add that to the dry kibble from that bag. Pretty much create a really good meal for your dog. Because this is their first night, again, we're just going to do the dry kibble. Tomorrow night we'll come back and we'll add the dry kibble plus a little bit of the freeze-dried food. Let's see if the pups will eat this. Go, Vic. Soxers, go for it.
That's not yours, Roxy. Eat your food.
Vic's checking it out. What you think? And they're at it. Roxy's a picky eater. She usually doesn't eat right away, but Vic seems to approve. He's used to having wet food in his dry food, so this is a really good sign that he's eating just dry food. I'd say that's a pretty big plus for any dry dog food. If my dog's eating it without wet food, it's definitely a good food. There goes Roxy stealing kibbles and running away. Vic seems to really like it. He's chowing down here. Definitely says a lot. And here comes Roxy back for some more. Good girl. Yeah, see, she's a picky eater. She'll take a few bites, take it into the living room, spit it on the floor, and eat a little bit at a time. She's such a girl. Tomorrow night we'll go ahead and add the freeze-dried food to the dry food, and we'll see what they think of that. But for tonight, just dry food, just to get them used to it. Seems like a big plus so far. Roxy keeps coming in for a bite or two, and Vic's still chowing down. Here comes Roxy for another bite again. Good girl. Guess she really likes it too, to be coming back for more and more. I would definitely give Orijen a big thumbs up for my dogs being able to eat their dry food just by itself. We'll be back tomorrow night to show you guys the freeze-dried plus the dry food. What's up, guys? We're here for night number 2 of the Orijen food. We're going to give them each a cup of the dry. Actually, we're going to give them a cup and a half of the dry because just a little bit of their regular food in there. Tonight we're going to give them some of this freeze-dried food. You actually add water to it. These are little medallions that you add water to, and they kind of make a wet type of dog food. Ooh, these look like cookies. So there is one medallion there. Just looks like a dried up, not in expiration date cookie. Kind of gross. We're gonna give them 1.5 each. I'm just gonna mix it all together. So here's the 3 medallions here. We're gonna go ahead and add the water to it. You're supposed to add 1/4 cup of water to each medallion. So I went ahead and measured 3/4 cup. And we're just gonna pour it on there. I found with this kind of freeze-dried food, it works best if you kind of mash it up and get it to break up and really absorb the water.
Are you hungry? You want some of that food? Can you speak? Speak. Speak.
Alright, so I forgot to mention that you have to put the water on the medallions. The water has to be warm, not boiling, but warm. And then you're supposed to let it sit for 3 to 5 minutes. And after adding the water and letting it sit, this is what we're left with. I'll probably use less water tomorrow and maybe a little bit warmer because it did create kind of a little bit extra watery gravy type of deal. But I think the dogs will like it either way. But this is what it looks like. Looks like wet dog food, actually, and I chopped it up in really little pieces with the spoon as it was sitting in the water. So let's go ahead and add this to their bowl. Looks like that. Try to do it as evenly as possible here. So there's what their food looks like there. I just put the medallions right on top of the dry food there. Let's go ahead and give this to the pups, see what they think. Here you go, guys. Roxy, you're on the other side. Okay, go ahead. Think of that food, guys. And they're chowing down. Roxy seems to like it, and Vic likes it. Oh yeah. There's the end result. Vic finished almost his whole bowl, and Roxy's still working on hers. She'll finish it up. She's just a slow lady. For some reason, she sometimes waits till Vic's done to eat. She's a very courteous lady. So here we are, day 3 of feeding the Orijen dog food, and I did a little bit of a different method on this wet food here. I used a little less water and a little bit warmer water, but there's still a lot of water in there. I definitely suggest chopping this up into smaller pieces because they do come in big, round, cookie-like discs that you want to break up. You don't want to feed your dog a whole disc, so I break it up like so. I used a 1/2 cup of water on 3 of the medallions, and that is what we got. So tonight I'm giving them a little less of the dry food, just because one observation I've been making, this food does seem to be a bit more filling than their normal food, so I think they need less of it to get full because they did not finish theirs last night. My dogs don't typically eat until they burst. They eat until they're full and then they stop. So I don't think it's anything to do with the quality of the food, just simply that it's maybe more filling than others. So there it is for night 3. So as you saw, we introduced the food kind of slowly to the dogs. The dogs seem to really like the food. They definitely preferred the freeze-dried food mixed into the kibble. That's more similar to what they currently get, which is dry and wet food at night. As you saw, this food here is just pretty much kibble. They're about dime-sized pieces. They're a nice size kibble. This other little bag here is the actual freeze-dried food. It comes in small little medallions, as you saw in the previous footage. So all in all, I have to say my dogs really enjoyed this food. I definitely approve of the ingredients. I'm going to put some links below if you guys want to read up on Orijen's foods. They definitely seem like a great company, and my dogs really enjoy stuff from Orijen. They really, really like the Orijen freeze-dried treats, so I thought they'd really like this food, and I was right. I would definitely recommend this food. I would definitely recommend getting the kibble and the medallion. just because I think it gives your dog more of a complete meal, in my opinion. Again, my dogs really love the Orijen freeze-dried treats, so if you're not sure how your dog's going to react to a freeze-dried food, I would definitely start with the treats first and then go into this food. This way it introduces them a little better into the freeze-dried option. Those would be my only suggestions. Thank you to Chewy.com for providing this food for my dogs. They definitely enjoyed it. Looking forward to next month where we get to try a new food. Look out for that, guys. And if you have any questions about Orijen food, go ahead and post them below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Good night.